John Poe Cattlemen's Association.
Yeah, I mean...
And man, Viggo steals every scene he's in. I think he steals in this movie.
When you see him, you know that he has it. Remember when James Gandolfini popped up in a lot of movies in the 90s in small roles? Mm-hmm. Like, this guy's got it. Paul Giamatti in his tiny roles in the 90s. This guy's got it. You felt that about Viggo as well.
And his lines and his deliveries are so good in this. He's not milking the scene, but he is stealing everything he is in.
He knows what he's doing, but he's also a good actor.
I love the scene where the writer has to take another dump, and he's just hollering out, "I have to take a movement.
Yep.
To take a movement." And Poe turns to Pat Garrett and he goes, "He has to take a what?" And Garrett just responds, "He has to take a shit." And then it all rounds back to later when they've got, I don't know if they're Apaches or Comanches that, come up on them, and the writer diffuses the situation. And then it just cuts to Poe and he goes, "Sheriff, I gotta have a movement." I just love it. I love it.
That brought some humanity to him, which I liked. And what did you think about the inclusion of William Peterson as Garrett? Did you like Garrett in this? I believed in Peterson. I thought his Garrett was a very capable character. I like the scene between him and June where he's talking to her. He's like, "Remember when you, me, and Billy were completely naked shooting everything in this place?" And then she shoots him down, and then he's like, "Wow, I don't see prostitutes anymore." Then he lights her place on fire. So he's petty, but he also doesn't really want to kill Billy. He's taking his time, but I think that's a neat characteristic in a character.
No, I think he's the perfect foil to Emilio's Billy. I mean, Emilio is unhinged in this movie. Like, you can see his slow descent into insanity as he's starting to buy into his own mythological status.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is completely unhinged and out there, whereas you've got then Garrett, everything he does is so deliberate. And so it's like he knows what he's doing, and he knows how Billy thinks and what Billy wants to do and where he wants to go. So he's just very methodical with everything he says and everything he does. I mean, by the time they even hire him, he instantly goes out and hires a writer to follow him and to track the adventure. Like, he has everything. He sees it. He just sees everything in advance.
I do like.
And he's got the gravitas. Like, I just think William Peterson he's that type of actor. He's got it.
And he's older than all the other guys, and you felt that too. You kind of felt the age on him, and I liked it. But he was also down for some shenanigans when in the beginning they kill those people, and then they bury him by just kicking sand on top of him. That's a cruel moment. That's unhinged.
That's bad. "Do I know you? I'm Travers." Nope.
That is a wild scene. And also, I think my favorite part in this movie is how naive Billy is, thinking he's going to get a pardon by Scott Wilson, Governor Lewis Wallace, for turning in the guys that he fought with in the first one, the Irish. And I kind of like how he seals the deal with a piece of cake, but he doesn't want that cake. He wants the vanilla frosting cake.
Pendleton. The one with the icing.
And he loved it, too. Billy, do you think Billy stay alive? Billy he seems a very in-the-moment man. Oh, he doesn't care much about life. When he kills that guard, he could have bonked that guy unconscious. He just doesn't really care.
Talking about Bob outside, Bob Ollinger?
Yeah, so what happens is Emilio in this film, he gets an offer by Scott Wilson, who's a governor, that if he goes state's witness, he'll get free, he'll get pardoned. So he willingly imprisons himself. It turns out it's not going to work like that because of the governor, he's Irish, all this, yada yada. He thinks he's going to die, and June Greathouse leaves a gun for him in the outhouse. So he goes to the outhouse with Bob. He gets the gun. He hides from him, some cheeky little scenes, but then he kills him. But he could have bonked him on the head. He just didn't think about it. And I don't think that shows how he doesn't really care about life either.
I think with that scene, I think that's Bell that's going up the stairs behind him.
Oh yeah, Bill, not Bob. I'm sorry. I messed up my Bill and Bob.
He's got the gun on him, and he drops his famous line, "I'll make you famous," and then he's telling him, don't do it. Like, I don't think he really wants to kill that guy, but he's also, he turns everything into a joke, and by doing so, he backs himself into a corner. So not defending his murderous ways at any, for any reason, but I feel like he's backed himself into a corner that he's got no choice to kill him. But then when he goes upstairs, he grabs the shotgun, and then he drops that line to Bob Ollinger, who's running back across the street. "Hello, Bob. Goodbye, Bob." And I think that one is just pure villainy right there. Like Bob's also been a total a-hole to him for the entire movie up to that point.
I do think he does a good job, Emilio. You know that he's crazy. So I like that you're not hero worshiping this guy because you clearly see that he's unhinged.
Yeah, and I think it brings it back to like all the Billy the Kid movies before this were very romanticized. Like Billy was a Robin Hood, a hero. In this, he's not. And you can tell he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. He gets pulled into the regulators in the first movie and in real life. And I don't think he's probably a kid that ever went out to do bad things. It's just, unfortunately with how life was back then, it's just kind of the path that put him on. And I think that's the approach that this movie takes with him as well. That he's not an anti-hero, but he has enough charisma that you're interested in his story and what else he's going to do, despite being incredibly bad.
No, I think you nailed it. Hey, how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more Young Guns 2. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And Tom, I have a surprise for us.
Okay. Oh, boy.
We're going to do a Lou Diamond Phillips draft. And after we draft this, the day after this podcast is released, you can go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook to vote on this poll. So head over there to vote on the polls. We have a lot of fun tournaments. We have a good time with this. You'll love it. So, Tom, 1 or 2. Pick 1 or 2.
Is this movies only?
Yes, movies only. So, one or 2.
I'm going to have to go 1 then.
All right, so it was 2. So I'm gonna go. You gotta go with his most iconic role, La Bamba. That's what.
All right.
That's what put him on the map. That was big. So I'm doing that, La Bamba.
I'm gonna go to the movie we're covering right now, Young Guns 2.
Ooh, Young Guns 2. All right, so we have La Bamba and we have Young Guns 2. Let's see, what am I gonna do next? I am going to pick. Oh, man. You know what? Stand and Deliver. Why not? All right, you're up next.
Is Young Guns an option, or is that too close to Young Guns too?
Yes, it is.
Dude, I'm going Young Guns.
All right, I'm going to do The Big Hit.
Man, I'm in the process of rewatching that right now. Bad? I've been in the process of it for 3 weeks. That's a tough movie.
Is it bad?
It's not good.
Oh, great.
It's crazy.
All right, so you're up.
I'm going to go. I remember when this movie came out. I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I remember it very well. I'm going to go Bats.
Oh, that was my pick. That had some money behind it.
It was kind of a funny movie.
All right. Yeah, I need to watch that again. All right, so I'm up. Let's see. Nobody knows this movie. Nobody knows it. Right? But I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to pick... Oh, no. Do I want to do it? No, I won't do that yet, because no one will even know this movie. So I'm not going to do it. I'll say... I want to pick something that... Courage Under Fire.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Thank you.
That's big. That was a big movie.
You're going to win. You have Young Guns 1 and 2.
I don't know why you didn't pick one of those.
All right, you get your 4th pick here.
Is it just 4?
No, we're doing 5 movies. But...
Okay, we're doing 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to go... I've never seen it, but it's on my list, and I've heard of it, and I'm going to go Extreme Justice.
Extreme Justice?
Yeah, it's a Scott Glenn LDP action cop movie.
Nice. Extreme Justice. There's a movie called Metal Tornado. I won't pick that one.
That sounds awesome.
Let's see. I got to do it. Death Toll. Striking Range. Let me see here. He's done a bunch of X-Men voices. Hollywood Homicide. Oh, man, this is tough. All right, let's see. What am I going to do? He's in Supernova. Broke Down Palace. Big Hit. Courage Under Fire. Undertow. Sioux City. Dangerous Touch. I'm just reading his movies out now. The Dark Wind. That sounds bad. Demon Wind. Wait, what?
I don't even see those. Oh, there they are. 1990.
That's pretty interesting. I am going to say... I'm going to go with...
What is this? Shadow of the Wolf.
You know what? I'll do the 33. There we go. I'll do the 33. That was a big role for him, so I'll do that. That was a real big role for him. He was with Antonio Banderas, Rodrigo Santoro, Jacob Vargas. He's a good actor too. Oscar Nunez. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. The 33. So you get one pick left.
I'm going 1989's classic LDP Kiefer Sutherland action crime film Renegades.
Renegades. All right. So you have Young Guns 2, Young Guns, Bats, Extreme Justice, and Renegades. I have La Bamba, Stand and Deliver, The Big Hit, Courage Under Fire, the 33. See,
you definitely are gonna get votes from La Bamba, and then I feel like Courage Under Fire. He didn't have a huge role in that, but that was a really big movie. And then what was your other one?
I have Stand and Deliver. That he had a big role in, Big Hit. That's like
Big Hit. Big Hit's also got a little bit of a following with it being one of Marky Mark's early movies.
I have not watched it, The Big Hit, since it came out in theaters, but I remember thinking it was. I know there's a cult audience for it. That's why I picked it.
It's pretty absurd.
I remember
Maybe I'll finish that today. Maybe I'll finish it today.
I just remember people jumping around and shooting weird guns. And speaking of weird shooting, I like the scene in this where Billy the Kid has to knock out those candles.
Oh, yeah!
And he knocks out a bunch. And you're like, well, you have 3 left. Or, well, you have 3 left and 2 bullets. And then he knocks the candle sideways and then shoots out the thing. So what he is, he's with a bunch of people and he's shooting out 5 candles. Like there's a candelabra and there's 5 of them in that. Candelabra? That's the right word, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're all in a row. But he only shoots a certain amount of them. So then he knocks the candle holder so that it's just in a straight line. And then he shoots 1 bullet and knocks out the other lights. It's insane. It's insane, but it's a cool gag. I like that gag.
It's good shooting is what it is.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a marksman.
It's interesting in this movie. There's a lot of you have the one guy making movements, and then you have Chavez and Doc getting poop thrown on him. There's a lot of scatological gags in this movie.
Oh yeah, when they were in the pit.
Yeah, and the outhouse, the farting noises. Yes. There's a lot of scat jokes in this.
Man, so good.
They keep building up too. Good.
So I've got a hard take I want to throw at you here.
Oh no.
That people may shut this off after they hear it, and this is probably the only time you're ever going to hear these 2 movies mentioned in the same sentence. But we were kind of talking about earlier of how this rejuvenated the interest in Westerns. And then specifically, it kind of brought back Billy the Kid into the limelight again after, 50 years of obscurity, not really doing a whole lot. So I just want to say that this is the JFK of the Western genre, like Oliver Stone's JFK of Westerns.
Because the way it just doesn't care about history and it makes up its own?
Yeah, you could go with that. But also because it brouut back interest that had long lost, kind of faded away.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Like JFK's conspiracy theory, by the mid-70s, that was only like 13 years after his death, but it kind of started to fade away. Like people just sort of lost interest in it. And then Oliver Stone released that movie and it got huge again. And it's still been big for the last 30 years. People are still ranting and raving about it. Obviously, Billy the Kid is not on that level. But for a brief time period there, throughout the 90s, huge archaeological and scientific studies started going underway, trying to find out if Brushy Bill Roberts was, in fact, Billy the Kid. Like huge court proceedings to try to get remains exhumed and so they get DNA samples and all this stuff. And it's still stuff that is being released and making news today.
Yeah.
Man, that was all Young Guns too.
He brought him into play. It made $88 million and it had a soundtrack that was everywhere. So Billy the Kid was in the consciousness of the populace. And the VHS sold a lot. So yeah, do you think people were probably interested in it? And it made good articles. Kids knew about it.
Oh yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know the Brushy Bill Roberts story, you should get online and look it up. Get online and check it out. It's really fascinating because not only does it tie in with Billy the Kid, it also ties into Jesse Evans, who was the rival leader of the other gang during the Lincoln County War. So he wasn't in Young Guns 1, but he was the primary villain to the Regulators. And so he ties into Brushy Bill as possibly someone living through